Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well. And I think you are approaching that time wherein you're soon going to hear from Ify about the Asistana program, and you're awaiting the results. Maybe you're a bit anxious about how the program will go about, and a lot of things you may have in mind. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you 10 pieces of advices. Um, that I would give any future assistant, being an assistant myself. So, hi, I'm Richa. I'm currently an assistant in France, and let's get in. So, the first advice that I have for you guys is okay. Now, just want to tell you before we begin, I have this paper with me because I've jotted down 10 advices that I would like to give the future assistants. So just so that I don't miss out on any points. So, in case I'm referring to this thing, don't, I mean, you should know that, I have this thing in front of me so that I don't miss out on something. So, coming back to the 10 advices I would give for the future assistants, number one on my list is go out as much as possible. Do not limit yourself to, do not remain indoors, basically. So, I'll tell you, initially when I had come here, I was a bit conscious about talking to people, approaching people. I did not know whether the French people are friendly or not. Would they be interested in talking to me, or, things like that. But, and it's very much obvious because the Indian culture and the French culture, they are both poles apart. And, the way we have experienced things in India, it's so different here. Um, but I would suggest, once you're here, make sure you spend more time in the salle de prof, because usually in the morning, before everyone starts their day, that's the time when you'll see the entire salle de prof filled with all the professors. So, hang out in the salle de prof, I would say spend some time, because interact with teachers. I mean, when they see new faces, obviously you'll see a lot of people will approach you, and they would like to know a lot about you. And so, yeah, I mean, don't just limit yourself to the teachers you're going to work with, or whoever is approaching you. If there's something that you can offer to somebody, do that. It's not just for the lycée, I would say. um, Go out as much as possible. So initially what I used to do is I used to explore the supermarkets, the prices, the kind of products I can find here. So that's how you get to understand about the culture here. And I think you'll randomly come across so many people. And so what happens when you remain indoor is you tend to feel more and more lonely, because with time, since 12 hours a week is not a lot. So what do you do in the rest of your time? So I would suggest, interact with as many people as possible. um, Number two on my list is use your orientation. Okay, so now use your orientation both in India and in France, to interact with as many fellow assistants as possible. So, before your departure to France, right before your departure to France, you will have an orientation in Delhi, which is mandatory for all assistants to attend. And that's where, IFI is going to book stay for you guys. Food and your stay, everything is taken care of by IFI. It's just that you have to pay for your travel from your respective city to Delhi, to and fro, whatever. So a lot of assistants flew directly from Delhi to France, and a lot of assistants flew back to their respective cities, and then they decided to fly to France. So that's totally your choice. I personally traveled from Mumbai to Delhi, and then I came back to Mumbai. and then after 2 days, I had my flight to Paris. So also, on after the I mean on this event, you will realize this could have been done online over a Zoom call or a Google Meet. But believe me, this these orientations basically are organized so that all the assistants can come together, they can interact with other assistants, and you make friends, you make Indian friends. And then when you come to France, you will, the moment you come here, like within a week's time, you will have an orientation in your respective academy. Like mine was Academy de Nancy Mess. So we were called to Nancy for an orientation, for a reunion, and we were given a lot of instructions, and some things were repetitive also. But trust me, the objective of these reunion is basically to uh, put you in a situation where you get to interact with other assistants. Okay, so even in France, so when you come to France, you'll interact with other Indian assistants in your same academy. Maybe you're just an hour away, or maybe you're placed in the surrounding places. You guys can hang out. That's what we do. So I met a lot of assistants whom I did not meet in Delhi, but I met them here in the reunion that happened in Nazi. So also during these reunion, what I suggest is make friends, exchange numbers with assistants, especially when you're in France. Do that because make friends is what I would say. Because what happened with me is, I really did not understand at that time. I did not understand what was the logic behind, conducting these reunion. Apart from just, prepping us for a lot of things and giving us some basic guidelines as to how we need to conduct ourselves here. Um, I really felt it could have been conducted online, and it did not make much sense to me at that time. Spending money and traveling to Delhi and coming back and things like that. So, but then later on, I realized it was something really good, because that's how you make a lot of friends. I made, there were assistants from all the countries. Okay. So I would suggest meet a lot, as many assistants as possible in your reunion in France. So I'll tell you what were the benefits. There were, like recently there is a South African assistant friend of mine. Uh, there are a lot of assistants in Nosy basically, and the South African friend, it's her birthday today, and she invited all the assistants, whoever had met earlier, and she's organizing a party. But unfortunately, I'm not able to go. But so you'll be invited for parties, you'll be invited for a lot of things, like in the month of November, I think there was another, during the time of Thanksgiving, there was another reunion organized at a friend's house. So we all met. There were there were assistants from, I think, 5 to 6 different countries that came together. We were singing, we were dancing, we all prepared our own, special dishes, and we exchanged like. So it was such an enriching experience, right? So do that, make most of it. That's how you will be invited for a lot of parties, events. And another aspect is, suppose you're traveling to some country, or some other place, and at times what happens is, a lot of assistants would be uh, willing to accommodate you in their respective city, if they are available on that day, of course. So I'll tell you what happened with me. Yeah, obviously I wanted to explore Nausea, because that's the closest city to where I'm placed. So I wanted to stay somewhere, and there are no hostels in Nausea. So I spoke to these assistants, and there was one American assistant hosted me for a weekend. I stayed at her place for good 3 days. So isn't that amazing? Like we could talk, we could that was the time we got to become friends. And even later on, when I was traveling to Amsterdam or I was traveling to any other country, what happened was I got a Flix bus which dropped me to Nancy really late in the night, and there was no train from Nancy to my city at that time. So again, this same friend of mine, she was available, fortunately, and I could stay at her place during that time also. So it helps a lot, So use your orientation, I would say. The third advice I have for you is, yeah, actually, this is the first thing that you must do. The first thing that you do when you hear from IFI about your selection, is you join the Indian Assistance WhatsApp community, WhatsApp group, because I can't tell you how helpful this community is. There are former assistants on this group who are more than willing to help the future assistants or the assistants who are in during the process, and with the complete documentation work, whether it is documentation, whether it is packing, whatever from A to Z, all your concerns are discussed in this group. So do that. um, Also, the name of the group, I mean the group is the same always, but just the year that has changed. So for me it was Indian assistance 2023-24. So for you it will be 24-25, obviously. Another thing about this group is, there was this former assistant named Rutvik, and so he has created his own guide for the future assistants to help them with all the relevant links, the process, step by step process. I mean, he's put in immense work to do this, and it's commendable. If I don't know if he'll ever watch this video. If he is, I'm really thankful to you, Rutvik. So, Rutvik's guide is going to help you a lot, a lot, a lot, because we know the only point of contact, is Smriti, and that too it's via email. And the other option is reading the FAQs on the EFI website. That's it. But there are a lot of small doubts that you may have during your entire documentation process until the time you come here, from your selection to your travel date. There will be a lot of things. So you can put all your, no matter how stupid you may think your question is, people have discussed a lot of things, all nonsense things as well. I wouldn't deny, but that's the thing about this group. It's super helpful, trust me. And it's not just till the time you travel to France. Even after that, I think it's it is somebody, it's like somebody holding your hand throughout the process. And even after you've come to France, ever you have any difficulty, or you want any travel recommendations, or you want any hostel recommendations, any event recommendations, any suggestions, anything, any damn thing, it's all discussed here. So I can vouch for this community. So just do this, go and join the group. The advice number 4 that I have for you is, apply for CAF as soon as you come here. Now, know one thing about CAF. The first month CAF, no assistant is eligible to get. Not just assistants, in general. People are not supposed to get CAF for the very first month of their application. So October का CAF नहीं मिलने वाला है. But I suggest to complete the process, and you don't need security social number for this. There's an alternative way to go about the process. I won't talk everything about CAF in this video, because the video will get too long. and I don't want to do that. Already, the time I recorded my packing list wala video, it went on for 45 minutes, which I did not even expect. So I want to cut it short and finish it in as least time as possible. So apply for it, because CAF takes a lot of time sometimes, and all academy CAF offices work differently. So there are a lot of assistants who have already received their CAF, and then there's me, who haven't received CAF at all. Okay, so I applied for it in November, and so the month you apply is when you get that month onwards you'll start receiving CAF. So if you do it in October, October तो वैसे भी नहीं मिलने वाला है, but at least latest November तक ensure you complete your process. Otherwise November का CAF भी नहीं मिलेगा. So I did it in November, and we are currently approaching the end of March. I've still not heard from them, and needs a lot of follow up, and that's a lot of complicated process. But make sure you do it. Uh, Again, if you have any problems, you can put it up on the group, and there'll be so many assistants who will love to help you. Then, advice number 5 is hang out in the salle de prof, interact with professors, even with those you don't work with. Like I just mentioned in the first advice, do that, because um, I'll tell you, I just interacted with a few professors even in my college and my lycée, who are not even English professors, but there was one professor in my lycée whose friend was whose friend had Indian origin, and she was in the same city. She was just 10 minutes away from where I live, and she was organizing a Diwali party, and all these French ladies were dressed in saris, and they were dancing, and there was Indian food, sweets, lot of things. Just it was just amazing. So I was invited for that. Now she was a Spanish teacher. Okay, so this was just an example. I'll tell you another person in my college. Again, who I don't even know, but I was just myself. I was, there was an Indian theme event that I was in charge of a class, and I had to teach them a lot of Indian things. So, in which now, since I am a yoga enthusiastic person, I'm a yoga enthusiast. Sorry, I included a short yoga sequence in that play, and there were teachers and parents and everybody who came to see it. And there was one teacher who just liked it a lot, and she also loves yoga, and she just offered me a lot of yoga sessions. Then, she also offered me a spectacular at the theatre. So just be yourself, and interact with as many professors as you can. I'm sure you'll be invited, because they love that cultural exchange. Okay, I know, I mean, I did not think French people would be enthusiastic about it, but trust me, they are. So do that. Advice number 6 is, oh god, this is super important, guys. Verify and double check with your telecom company if you can make free calls to India. I mean, the phone calls to India. Because um, I got a SIM card at the bank where I opened my account, so there was some collaboration, promotions going on. So there was this collaboration between the telecom company called Bouygues and Credit Mutual Bank. So when I went to open my bank account, they also offered me a SIM card, and I thought of buying it. And I was told I can make calls to more than 120 countries, I guess. And I assumed India was a part of it. I assumed was the biggest mistake I made. I made calls to India for 3 days, and I did not receive any message about being charged or something. But I was being charged, and on the third day, I received a message saying "Vous avez dépassé votre forfait," and I was charged 240 euros for it. So 240 euros is a lot of amount for a phone bill at least. I could have planned a trip to some country with that money. And yeah, so that was a surprise that I got as soon as I arrived here. Um, so double check, don't be in this mess. And because of this, I also had to cancel my October vacation plans. So yeah, that was one thing. But I don't regret. You're in a new country. Of course, you're going to fuck up. Of course, you're going to come across unexpected surprises, both good and the bad surprises. So it's okay. It's a part of the journey. Advice number 7 is join your city specific, sorry, join your city specific Facebook groups. Put up an introductory post in the group, interact with people again. Um, Now, this is my personal suggestion because that's what I did. Like, just type the name of your city, go to the groups section, and you will come across all the groups with that name. So join that. Um, Introduce yourself because people will welcome you, they'll comment on your post, they'll invite you. Like, I mean, when I did this, I came across a group that goes for running in the forest here, and I was invited for that, and I did go. No, I was not invited. I went willingly, and I did not know whether I would meet people there. But yes, I met them, and it was fun to explore the forest. It was something so different. I met a 65-year-old man who was running much faster than me, who was fitter than me, and it was such an eye-opening experience for me. So it's like this. I mean, you can interact with people and go for whatever things you're interested in. If you're interested in skating, ice skating, dancing, there are so many things here. Okay, there are so many clubs, maybe swimming. Do whatever you feel like. And I also made friends through this Facebook group because yeah, and then what happened is they were native French people, obviously, and whenever they would plan to go to some place like any waterfall, any treks, anything, casino, I went with them for so many events. I was invited, and sometimes I invited them at my place, for that cultural exposure, exchange, whatever you call it. So it was fun, so do that. um, and trust me, your experience is going to be bad if you do not if you limit yourself, and if you do not interact with more people. Okay. So I think I really love each and every day that I'm spending here. It's only because I've interacted with a lot of people, and I mean, I've met super generous, such a kind, um, j- such a kind group or set of people, I would say. Because, and trust me, I'm not someone super social, I'm not a social butterfly, but I think when you're in a new country, just there's nobody to judge you, right? So just be yourself and push yourself out of that comfort zone. It will, trust me, it will help you a lot. Um, I was never like this. I'm a very antisocial kind of a person. I don't interact with people a lot. Especially I don't interact with them upfrontly at least. I have a very small group of friends, even in India, so I'm that kind of a person. So, but yeah, trust me, like if you do not interact with a lot of people, chances are you will be isolated most of the times. You may end up feeling lonely. uh, so for me, there's no room for loneliness. I just enjoy, I love spending time by myself, doing things I love. Like, I do journaling, I go for walks, I do yoga, I go for running, I do a lot of things here. Um, and even if I'm not, I enjoy the time that I get to cook for myself, and I'm just dancing all alone in my house. It's super peaceful, and I just love it. I love each and every day that I've spent here. Not just those days when I uh, could go out, or when I was invited by people. No, even the days when I have been home, doing nothing, or just being myself, just being all by myself, doing everything on my own. Like I just love everything. So, yeah, chances are you may end up feeling bad about it, and maybe you are placed also in a small town where there are very limited people, and there are very limited things to do. Like the city where I am in is also not a very big city. And I mean, there are very limited things to do here, but I've met really amazing people, like super kind. I could not even imagine that in my life. Maybe, and I'll tell you, I give 100% credit to these people I've met here, because otherwise, I don't think my experience would have been that exciting and great as I'm describing to you guys right now. Okay, so meet people, guys. Trust me, it's going to give you more exposure to the French culture. So that is one thing. Also, I've been advised to hang out with the students of my lycée who the students who stay in Antenna. So, I mean, as teachers, as Indian teachers, we cannot think of hanging out with our students, even if they live very close by or something. There's always that distance, or uh, you know the sense of authority that you have. uh, you don't do that, but I was advised, and I thought maybe it's the same thing here, but no. I was upfrontly told by my colleagues that you can hang out with the students who live here in the Antenna. They are very much excited to hang out with the assistants at times, so it can be a great way to enjoy your vacations. uh, okay, coming back to my advice number 8: be prepared for both the good and the bad experiences. Now, like I just mentioned, 240 euros was the worst experience that I had. But it's okay. I mean, that time, yes, I was feeling very bad. I I think I even no, I did not cry, but I was almost on the verge of that phase. It pinched me so bad, and I just felt like bursting out at the telecom company, these people. And at the max that they offered me was, instead of paying the whole amount together, I could pay it in installments. But I had to pay, right, anyways. So I think there were good experiences as well as bad experiences. So, like I told you, I had no plans during my October vacations. I was home, and that is like the very initial stage of your programs, wherein you don't even interact with a lot of people. But I think I enjoyed that time also, irrespective of what I was doing. So I am someone, uh, like I mentioned, there's no room for loneliness in my life. I just enjoy my time. I don't need to keep myself busy to feel good. I don't need to, constantly be surrounded by people to feel good. No, I'm just at ease with myself. Okay, so I have worked a little. I've worked at least that much that um, I can handle being by myself. So, and it's the best thing I feel for me, in my opinion. But if you're a social butterfly and all of that, uh, it's great. I mean, you'll naturally interact with a lot of people. So, obviously, and one more thing I'll tell you: not every weekend you're going to travel. So sometimes you'll be home, sometimes you'll be, the weather will be gloomy, and dark and gray, no sunlight for weeks also at times, and it will rain and it doesn't rain like it rains in India. It drizzles, and there's a lot of wind here, so it will be like that. So even that impacts your mental health to a certain extent, your mood to a certain extent. There will be days when, especially during January, you'll sleep a lot, you'll eat a lot. And so there will be a lot of shifts happening in the way you experience things here. So don't panic, be prepared for everything. Not all experiences are going to be exciting all the time, and it's not supposed to. So just go with the flow, okay? But again, don't I did not come here with anything in my mind that, oh wow, I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to do this, I'm going to travel here. Nothing. I did not even have a bloody bucket list in my life. I did not, I mean, I was so excited with the idea that okay, I'm flying to Paris, and yeah, I did not have a bucket list that oh yeah, I'm going to travel these countries, these places. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Nothing. I just went with the flow, experienced both the good and the bad, and I embraced both these experiences. So, my advice to you would be to be prepared, whatever comes your way, because ultimately it's our own decision to come here, right? So, yeah. Advice number 9 is now I'll tell you the ninth advice that I have is stay. I mean, interact more with people of different nationalities instead of finding Indian people everywhere you go. Okay, I think we have this tendency of finding our tribe everywhere and anywhere we go. You know, um, like I've seen a lot of assistants who keep looking for Indian assistants around them, and they get super excited, which is a good thing. I have few fellow assistants close by, and we've traveled together to some places. Some weekends I've spent at their houses. Some weekends they have come to my house. It's okay. It's a good idea, but the idea of this program is to get an exposure of the French culture or different culture. So I would suggest, see, there's no problem at all finding Indian people, but I think that's where our comfort zone is. But in my opinion, when you interact more with people of different nationalities, you get to understand 10 different ways people think, 10 different ways in which people function, okay, 10 different cultures. So you have more exposure that way, because Indian culture, Indian way of thinking, Indian lifestyle is something that you already know. It's something that we've grown up with. So to make most of this program, my personal suggestion is instead of finding your Indian tribe everywhere, try interacting with people of different nationalities and different cultures. Okay. Now, the last advice is I will very shortly explain because the video is getting a little longer. Um, so, without further delay, the 10th advice is it's okay to not have vacation or travel plans every time you have days off or every time you're on vacation. It's absolutely okay. Do not come under that peer pressure. Oh my god, all assist, because there will be discussions happening in the Indian assistants WhatsApp group. People will talk a lot about travel plans and everything. But it's okay. You know your finance. You know your finances best. Okay. So then there, I mean, you may have to send money to India to support your family. Maybe you don't have to spend. Maybe you don't have to send money to India. Maybe you have to. Maybe you spend some money on shopping sometimes. So you've got to manage your expenses, and it's absolutely fine to not have plans on any of the vacations or on any of the weekends. Do not feel bad, like even if you have to send money to India, and because of that, you have very limited funds left with you. It's fine. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty about it. Be proud of it because you're contributing to your family, right? So I have done that myself, and um, like I told you, I did not have any plans for my October vacations. I was just going for walks, I was going for running, I was practicing yoga in the garden. There's a beautiful garden here. So I was going there, I was meeting people, I was just strolling around the place, exploring what they have in different supermarkets, prices, a lot of things. So I used to do that, and it's absolutely fine. So you don't have to feel peer pressured. So just know your situation best and do what's best for you instead of comparing um your plans with other people's plans. So because everybody's backgrounds are different, okay? So it's okay to not travel every time you have days off. It's okay to remain indoors. It's okay to not spend money, okay? Because it's a time where people love spending money. Shopping gives them a lot of happiness. They feel the most, they feel happiest whenever they're feeling low. They just go out and buy something for themselves, and they're happy. So it's okay, to manage your finances the way you want it, and it's okay to not have plans. That's all I have to say. I hope these advices helped you. If yes, don't forget to let me know, because I love reading you guys. I love reading the comments from you guys, and that's what motivates me to create more such content to help you guys. And thank you so much for listening, for hearing me out throughout, and have an amazing time in France. I hope if you're coming. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.